All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? This is Jeff Mackey live, special edition version, good news version. I'm Spencer Israel. That's Jeff Mackey. Jeff, let's get some good news on a Friday. Let's talk about some retail stocks that don't look horrible. How does that sound? Can we do
That
that?
sounds so much better than the week that we actually live in, than the reality that we've experienced, which was just a kick in the five hole on Monday morning and kind of left him for dead, which is disquieting or an opportunity. It depends. The data still comes in. This is the best kind of data you're going to get. Hey, look, everyone's going out for dinner. Or have they just jacked up the prices to $19 per hamburger slice?
Who's to
A little of
say?
both.
Who's to
Who's
say?
to say? The important thing is people are enjoying a good family meal.
Yeah,
That's
right.
not the important thing because you can't afford one without money. This is the XRT. I mean, grinding is one word for that. There are different words, of course, but over the last year, I mean, we conquered tariffs. We have declared multiple truces with Iran, and nothing seems to really kind of get us out of the mire here. But you know what? And I think the problem is that people don't know what the consumer is doing. Consumer, as we always talk about, that's 70% of the economy, and no one has a damn idea. We are driving with our headlights absolutely off. That's going to end next week. That's why we're here. That's what we're excited about, and that's the good news: is that we'll know definitively next week when the most important company on earth reports exactly what the consumer is doing. Is that going to be good news? It beats the hell out of not knowing.
Well, first off, this chart looks nothing like a lot of other retail charts out there. This one actually looks pretty damn good.
And people hate this. The smarts out there, the snobby types that I spend my time with, and I have been accused of being a time or two, but no one likes Walmart. It's really, this is not a name that you want to call someone up and say, you know what I like is a retailer growing at about 3%, more or less levered to GDP, more or less the size of the entire country, and it trades at a multiple of 40. I mean, not one damn person on earth likes that, but that's been the rap on them for the last 20%. 30%, and it just keeps freaking going. I, I don't know. We were talking a year ago at about 110, 100 about how I felt like a trapped long. Now I just feel super smart and smug because it just keeps going higher. And the better news with Walmart too is that they'll tell you right down to kind of that day. Dougie Mack, the old CEO, just left, but the new guy's not going to change the tempo of the way they report. And what they're going to say is that, consumers, they like to find a good value. They're price aware. No kidding. But if Amazon was able to track high single digits in terms of their physical store comps, Walmart should be mid single digits at least. They should be pretty good.
Jeff, for many years, the narrative around Walmart was that this was like a recession play, right? This was a flight to safety play. But now this is a $1 trillion company. So are we we're past that, right? Like this is an everything play, is what this is.
This is freaking America, is what it is. You can't sell $1.5 billion worth of stuff to Americans every single damn day. You can't be within 10 miles of 95% of the country. I mean, you could replace the post office with Walmart, and all you would get is more efficient mail delivery. They are us, so people who kind of snob out, who don't like to go there. I like hanging out in Walmarts. I'll be honest. I kind of do. We've got a local one. It's just great. It's just really good commerce. They redid the whole thing, Spencer, on the fly. Like they remodeled this 200 odd thousand square foot store without ever closing it down. They just did about 4 feet at a time, and they just kind of worked their way across the store. It's the most it's kind of just an amazing thing to see. I was like a little kid watching a Bob the Builder show, where the kids will just stare at construction stuff. That's how I feel going to the Walmart. They're efficient, they're good. That stock looks like it's going to all-time highs to me. Does that happen on Thursday? I don't know. We'll see. And kind of the ne'er-do-well little brother you just flashed up, Target. Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? The chart doesn't look terrible. They report next week, and they're remodeling on the fly. What's not to love?
Well, they're doing smarter things. I mean, they gave up so much ground to Walmart, just in terms of execution operationally. They really this was the gang that couldn't shoot straight for about 5 straight years. Now, the criticism was they hired a CEO. You can see where the chart kind of gaps down there at the end of last summer. That's when they hired internally. Someone was flaming us about Lululemon before. That it's a little like Lulu hiring internally. We're worried about the bench we have there, We're worried about the strength that we have on hand. So, but the worry was that he was not going to change anything. Fidelity is the guy's name, and he is going to change things. Target, I continue to think is going to be a great stock over the course of the year. If you bought them because you thought first quarter was going to be just this amazing earnings bonanza for them, A, you don't really understand retail. B, you don't understand the turnaround story. I mean, it's I don't really care what they report. I care what they say.
Comment in the chat. Wait, if I can go back to Walmart for a second. There was a comment about Walmart being an advertising company, because that revenue line was non-existent a few years ago, and they've kind of built it up. I mean, through some acquisitions and stuff. They bought was it Vizio, right?
Yeah. The TV guys, and people were like, "Why on earth would you do that?" Advertising. It's less that it's more the rate of growth that they're getting, and so they're and the size of margins they have. So if you're selling, say, $600 billion worth of stuff, and you're netting like 4.5 cents off that, that's not that exciting. The reason that Amazon trades for a much higher market cap is because they've got much more profitable stuff. AWS, as it turns out, absolutely prints money. So, at the end of the day, Walmart's kind of going more towards the Costco model, where they just sell memberships and everything else is pretty close to cost. They're not looking to kind of grind out that much money on t-shirts. It takes a ton of t-shirts to make the same amount of money that you do from a good ad.
Yeah, Walmart Plus. Speaking of memberships, no such thing exists at Target. Am I right?
Kind of. I've got the Target circle, but it's
they
not.
Do. Okay, see it.
They've tried a little bit of everything over there.
Right.
Most of it hasn't stuck that well. What they need to do, and what they have done, is improve the store experience. Target's entire gig is we're going to be cleaner than you expect. You're going to find cuter things than you expect, and you're gonna buy them. It's surprised that kind of mothers love Target, because they sell kind of inexpensive stuff that looks cute, and as all children's wear does, the kid's gonna outgrow it in a month. You know that, you're a parent.
Mhm.
You want basically disposable clothes that don't feel disposable. Target somehow got way, way off the beaten track of just let's keep our store clean and sell cute stuff. They're getting back there, and there's a lot of things they can do. They can redepartmentalize the whole store. I went to our local Target. They've got probably like 20 feet of shelf space dedicated to Roombas and Roomba variants. And if you count those in K cups, I mean, honest to God, it's like, is this all you people sell? Or just people doing Roombas and K cups? I mean, it's nuts. But there's so many ways they can make more money out of their store boxes that you get. I'm thinking this is going to have like a 3-4 year run, much higher, and there'll be bumps along the way. They took a run at it, man, this week. We were talking on Monday, and they absolutely took this thing right down to support, where it's still hanging out now. But if earnings weren't coming up, I'd be more concerned about the chart. We'll see what happens once the fundamentals get a little bit.
And as this chart notes, we're at the 50-day, still well above the 200-day. So the primary trend is up. Let's find out more on Wednesday morning. Okay, if we're talking about charts that look good, and retail, might as well talk about Amazon, because it's sort of always looks good relative to some of the other stuff that's in your world. It may not always look great compared to like the other Mag 7 components, but compared to like XRT and Home Depot and Lowe's, this looks pretty good.
And did you see the United States Postal Service reported last week? And I was looking at the numbers. They honestly should give it to Amazon. Amazon does more businesses more profitably, just kind of accidentally, than companies 5 times or half their size do on purpose. I mean, they're incredible operators, the best allocators of capital. So young Buffett, really. I mean, think of it, Amazon. They've tried a lot of stuff. If it didn't work, they got rid of it. RIP Amazon phone. But they turn Prime from something that people pay a couple bucks a month for, and maybe you get things in 2 days. Well, now everyone gets stuff in about 3 hours, and Prime is an entire network. So this is a company that can build stuff and make a ton of money. And they're going to get a lot of ink this year for passing Walmart as the biggest retailer. That's arguable, but the fact is they're still putting up really good comp sales at their size and scale is just incredible. And Walmart's actually become a fairly reasonable kind of running number 2. They're doing 100 billion market cap or 100 billion revenue off their online. That's a significant competitor now. And so Amazon's got another person at the party, and they're still posting great numbers. And that's just on the retail side. It's as far you can get to AWS.
Well, that's right. Didn't Amazon also just pass the postal service in terms of uh number one parcel carrier in America? I think they did. I think
Yeah.
Amazon delivers more packages than anyone else. The postal service, UPS, definitely more than FedEx, or a lot more than FedEx, twice as much as FedEx.
Yeah,
So,
we wanted to keep things positive, so we don't have charts for FedEx or UPS. But if you would have said, and I was saying 10 years ago, that just e-commerce in general was going to take about a 25% chunk of the pie, you would think that the guys who deliver the packages would benefit from that. Amazon just decided to build their own damn post office, and it was amazing. It's the vehicles and distribution centers. I frankly was kind of concerned at the beginning of the year, and again, no one even gives a crap. They're building chips and launching satellites, and they're doing all kinds of stuff people talk about, and quietly delivering about a third of their orders within 3 hours, which is bonkers. That I can order kind of AA batteries and something ridiculous for my bike and Diet Coke and have it just kind of show up at my door like I was ordering a pizza. It's awesome. It's an amazing service.
I had a new Amazon experience where I did a return, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll just take this to wherever I got to take it to. And they're like, no, we'll come to you. We'll come to you. We'll pick it up. And I was like, oh, you'll come to me. All right.
Yeah. There's a truck right outside your house right now.
You got to leave my house. Pretty
and the
cool.
guy's not even scary. It's not even a situation where you're going to lock the car. Anyway, this stock was basing for a long time, and it still works. You don't often get to buy it when it's breaking out. We kind of spent our time in the gulag with Amazon. I think it worked its way higher, and this chart has done nothing wrong. Look at that. It broke out nicely. Coming back there, going to give us a little base, and then you just load the boat.
Of course, let's not pretend that Amazon trades because it trades like a retail stock. It does not. This is an AI play. This is a space play. This is what this is.
It's the everything company.
Yeah.
It's the everything company, baby. Right. But retail it's the straw that stirs the drink, as far as I'm concerned. So damn it, that works.
I should mention some of the stocks that we are discussing are stocks that you own. Some of them are stocks you don't own. That's okay. You're still looking for good charts regardless. So this is Aritzia. I know we've talked about this for a little while there. It did have earnings last week. It did okay.
If okay is 25% plus comps, that was okay.
Okay, that's okay. Then it's off the recent highs, but again, looks like it's above those prior highs, and I mean, looks good to me.
They were salivating, and this is another sign that the consumer is just not as bad. And people will argue, perhaps correctly, at least in the case of On Holdings, which I'm going to mention, but they reported their numbers were great. Yeah, the guys with sharp knives out there just looking to tear them a new one. Aritzia reported. That's a much lower key name. I'm kind of one of the few people I know that babbles about it as much, and I babble about it mostly because my daughter is going to be able to buy and sell me because we've never sold a share of her stake. She was the one who found this. I thought it was an Italian company, honest to God. But one showed up at our mall in 2018, 2019, and we've been long the stock ever since. It's been an absolute juggernaut. Not cheap, but again, that chart is absolutely not broken, and the execution is chef's kiss beautiful. So what are you going to do about it?
Not cheap from a valuation standpoint? Is that what you're saying?
Not cheap from a valuation standpoint. I did a piece on this, like for the actual members a week or two ago. When you sell these things, what do you do when it's time to leave? And retail gets hot, as we saw with Abercrombie, we saw with Lulu. It becomes defining. It becomes part of its era. And then it kind of goes into a fallow period. It always ends in tears. Aritzia right now is at that point where it's going parabolic. If you don't know a young woman who shops there, you will soon. That's going to happen this year. They continue to have just a ton of runway in the States. Eventually, this party will end, but it's not going to be this quarter.
This one was discussed on the morning show. Was the yesterday?
But guess which company? I want people to take a shot at it there in the chat if they can't see it. I mean, how bad can things be if golf club companies are crushing? Callaway finally got rid of Topgolf, and there's nothing wrong with that chart that I can see. I mean, that's beautiful. People have been waiting for this. It was such a pig for so long, such a terrible idea to become the driving range co with leverage, that it really didn't matter what price they got out of there. They're just focusing on kind of making drivers and stuff, which they should. They should be hanging out in Carlsbad, getting a little high, making drivers. That's what they're good at. That's what their legacy is. And they should change their ticker back to Eli. It's not Ford, it's Callaway. But we saw good numbers from Titleist. We saw good numbers from Callaway. It's people don't golf when they're poor. Just not that kind of sport. They certainly don't buy Titleist golf balls.
We talk all the time about stocks completing bases. This thing is kind of just completed a 2-year base. If for you pattern traders out there, it looks a little cup and handily to me. I'm not the biggest pattern guy in the world, but it's pretty obvious. And yeah, it got destroyed from the summer of 24 till summer of 25, and it's come all the way back to those levels. And obviously it's way, way, way off those post-COVID bubble highs. It got up to like $37, $38 5 years ago. But
that was when they'd penciled out Topgolf to be about a $15 billion a year enterprise. I mean, it was just most companies don't walk away. That was like, you're even par through 6-7 holes and you make a 9. I mean, it's these guys just had things kind of chugging away. They had a great kind of market share going. It's all about just slow growth, steady, keep the ship right and pay enough in marketing and, help people hit bombs, because that's what most people want to do, is hit the ball far. And then they decided to become a restaurant company with their Topgolf. They levered up, they bought it. It looked great for a while. It turned out once people kind of stopped working from home and they had their little party corporate banquets at Topgolf, they never came back because it's an expensive place to hit golf balls and, a bad idea. But they got rid of them. They got out of it. And now they're back to clubs and they're kicking ass in this industry. Looks like 4% growth. But
stock is up. Stock is up 175% from the Liberation Day lows last year. So nice move. Nice move. Very nice move. All right. I think that was that it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. All these companies report next week. Some look good. Some don't. But you'll be watching all of them, right?
Well, they're going to be informative. Home Depot, I would not touch with your money, my worst enemy's enemy. I mean, it's just a bad stock. Someone was trolling us. I mean, I can't decide how, I'd probably buy a basket of Lulu and Home Depot for anyone that I didn't like that much, because I can't think of a reason to buy either one. But they get the ball started on Tuesday morning. The following day, we have Lowe's, Target, Deckers, Elf, TJ Maxx, and Urban Outfitters. I mean, that's a lineup right there. That's going to tell you exactly what the consumer is doing. And that's really why we're here. That's a raison d'etre for our little special here, is because we're going to answer the question next week: how is the consumer doing? I don't care about PPI. I mean, it's everything else is just inference. Everything else is how the consumer should be behaving. We're going to tell you how they actually are behaving, and we're going to get it straight from the horse's mouth. That's quite a bit of retail dollar there up on that screen reporting earnings next week.
Yeah, we always call this your Super Bowl, right? And it's true, because it is. So the next 2 weeks are going to be a very, very big for your world. I do want to mention that Jeff owned some of the stocks we've discussed, but also he has bought options this year on at least 3 of the stocks we just discussed in the last few minutes. If you are not involved with Jeff's portfolio, the Mackey portfolio, we are running or he's running a special offer, I am told, today and through the weekend. There is a link if you're watching us on YouTube. It is in the description. I will put it in the chat as well. It is also on the screen. You can get Jeff's portfolio, which is comprised of his long and intermediate term holds, and B, his weekly options trades, some of which, again, we've talked about in this very video. His best trade of the year was mentioned in this video. I won't tell you what it was, because
it wasn't Home Depot or Lulu. See, the people they'd love to talk about Lulu, the chat group, but that was not either one of them. Those are not my portfolio. Spoiler alert. And you know what, Spencer? The other good thing about this deal, people don't have to drive. Our shipping cost is $0. They don't have to get in their car. They don't have to pay $7 a gallon to go out to the Mackey store and to take advantage of these great bargains. They can see it right at their desk, right where they are right now. And
that's
they can
right.
take advantage.
That's right. You don't have to drive. I know that gas prices are up. This price is not up. This price is down for this weekend. So get involved. You get a special weekly video that Jeff does every single Friday, which I think he just finished up for this week. You get his, if you get Jeff's free commentary, free emails, you get his thoughts. But what you don't get with that is like what he's doing, right? What he's doing with his money. That's what we care about. This is what he's doing with his money every single week, making new trades, adjusting to the portfolio, adding, removing, re-adding, re-removing, doing all sorts of stuff. and it's all there for you. So,
and with the option, Spencer, we're beating the market. We're doing pretty well, and that's nice, and we're making money and stuff. These stocks, though, Walmart, the news from Walmart matters to every damn person on earth. Like if you're an American, I don't care how you feel about Walmart themselves. If you want to know how Americans are doing, they know. They're going to tell you. They will say, how are consumers actually behaving? People that show up at our store, they're behaving like this. And that's why this pays. That basically kind of the big major weeks pay for themselves for this, because they tell you exactly what the consumer's doing. And if you put me on a desert island, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'll probably say it forever, but damn it, if I had one piece of economic data, it would be the Walmart earnings release and transcript. And I'm going to digest that for folks.
I should have mentioned that at the beginning. In a year in which XRT, what is it down like 8% this year or something like that, 10%?
It's not great. It's a little dark.
Yeah.
It's a little. Staples aren't. Staples discretionary. Everything kind of except us. So we're doing okay.
Except you. That's right. Kudos. Good on you. All right. Jeff, thanks for doing this. I know we don't normally do this on a Friday, but I want to end with some good news. We like these charts. We might not own all of these stocks, but we like these charts, and we're going to get a lot more information next week. So it's going to be big. So thank you for doing this. And we'll talk, and I look forward to seeing, not at this point, I'm not even going to listen to the calls. I'll just wait for your take. You can tell me what to think. How's that sound?
I know these guys. I listen to them talk all the time. I'll be able to read between the lines for you. That sounds good. That sounds like a time-saving device. It's just to get my answers.
Use the link on the screen. Use the link in the chat or description. Get Jeff's trades every single week. I'm sure there will be a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline with the next few weeks of earnings. Lots to digest. Jeff, thank you very much. Everyone, thank you for watching. We'll see you.